afternoon, it's 12:01. Welcome to the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Finance Authority Special Meeting Agenda. Today is Tuesday, October 26, 2021, and I will take roll call. Javier Moreno here. Mayor Pro Tem Camilo Garcia.
Here.
Councilmember Raul Reña.
Isn't that phone?
We're taking roll. He's here.
Here.
He's here via teleconference.
Oh, thank you. Councilmember Gloria Romo.
Here.
And Councilmember Rosy Fernandez.
Here.
Okay, so we have quorum. Thank you very much. I will call to order. Due to the declaration of emergency meeting, this meeting is being held pursuant to AB 361, approved by the Governor of California on September 16, 2021. And some or all of the City Council members may participate in this meeting by teleconference. We have Mr. Reña participating by teleconference. Pursuant to Imperial County Public Health Department guidelines, City Council meetings are now open to the public attendance at 100% capacity of the City Council chambers, and all persons entering City Hall will be required to wear a face mask. Public participation will continue to be available in the following ways. Members of the public are encouraged to watch the meeting via live stream at http://communityspectrum.org/live at 12 p.m. or via Calexico City Hall Facebook page at https://www.facebook.com City of Calexico, California. Members of the public will be able to make public comments in the following way. 1. In-person comments.
Recording
2.
in progress.
Submit public comments via email by 10 a.m. on Tuesday, October 26, 2021 to our city clerk at gggarcia@calexico.ca.gov or via fax at 760-768-2103. Or 3, you may make public comments via Zoom from a PC, Mac, iPad, iPhone, or Android device. Please click to the link below to join the webinar. You can call telephone number 1-669-900-6833. The ID number for that is 829-3656-2561, and the passcode is 617839. So now we're going to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. I will read the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Mission statement, please. Mr. Garcia, can you help us with that?
Okay. City of Calexico mission statement. Together, we pledge to provide effective and efficient services in a courteous and respectful manner to improve the quality of life for all in a unique border community. Viva Calexico!
Thank you. Señor Todopoderoso, te damos gracias, Señor, por este día. Ponemos en tus manos esta agenda que en este momento este honorable cabildo va a ver para beneficio de la comunidad de Calexico. Te pedimos por cada uno de estos habitantes de Calexico, sus familias y de todo el Valle Imperial. Todo lo pedimos en el nombre de Jesús. Amén.
Thank you. Please have a seat. Now I have some announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on the City of Calexico website at calexicoca.gov the Friday following the City Council meeting. Committee office hours with Mayor Moreno will be held by appointment. Please contact the City Clerk's office at 760-768-2102 to schedule an appointment. We are now at public comments and public appearances, not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the City Council on special agenda items only. The Mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. The City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. Do we have any public comments? We don't?
All of the agenda, that's okay?
We don't have public comments.
Huh?
Approval of the agenda?
Can we make a
Uh-huh.
motion, please?
Let's first, I approval of the agenda?
I'll second that. In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Sir,
vote.
Councilman Ureña?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried.
Mayor Moreno, at this point, I do want to make an announcement with us today. We actually do have a business owner with us today. And as a business owner, he is going to have to go to his shop at 12:30. So if possible, could this council consider having Mr. Robert Gronich provide his statement at this moment so he can leave on time?
Okay.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor, Honorable Council members. My name is Robert Gronich. I live at 1948 Clinton Avenue here in Calexico. I am here representing Garland's Department Store in downtown Calexico. First, I would like to thank Lisa and Mr. Figueroa for promptly getting this item before you regarding the sidewalk permits, sidewalk sale permits. For me, as a merchant in downtown Calexico, we're obviously very, very excited and very happy that the border is going to be opening on November 8th. For a lot of the merchants here in Calexico, we've got a lot of aging inventory that has not sold due to the pandemic. And so the sidewalk sale is going to be an excellent, excellent tool for a lot of the merchants to be able to blow out a lot of these and announce and promote sidewalk sales, which a lot of our customers like. And so I would like to express my support, my full support for having sidewalk sales. I have also been in contact and I have obtained verbal and digital consent from Mark Holloway at Sam Alice Department Store, who is also in full support. I have Jesus Gallardo from the Calexico Independent Chamber of Commerce, who also owns 4 different businesses here in downtown Calexico. He is in full support. I have spoken to Remy Rashid of Jerusalem's Apparel. He is in full support. I have spoken to Rosa Maria, the manager of Melrose Fashions down in downtown Calexico. She is in full support. And so I wanted to share with you these names because although I think I'm the only business owner here, there are many merchants who fully support to have sidewalk sales in downtown Calexico, and I would really appreciate it if we could approve that. It would be much needed help and an excellent tool for us merchants to do business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Mr. Goni.
Thank you, Mr. Grange, very much. Mayor, I understand that we also have other public comments. If this council so desires at this point right now, what we can do is conduct the presentation of the item so we can all be more informed as to the particulars.
Okay.
And then we can welcome additional comments from those here before us.
Yes.
Okay, so who do we have first? Ms. Luna?
I think Ms. Luna, do you wish to wait or speak right now?
I'll wait for after the item.
Perfect. So we can conduct the presentation right now.
Okay, go ahead.
At this moment, for item number 1, I would please call on Director Lisa Tylenda.
Good afternoon, council members, members of the public and staff. The item before you is a proposed resolution to adopt regulations regarding sidewalk vendors and adopting a fee for applications for sidewalk vending permits. The item before you has historically been approved by previous councils in a different presentation, a different operating standard, where previous sidewalk permits were issued during holiday seasons, and the sidewalk vending permit before you is focused on kind of a test run. We have a new, well, not new, but within the last 2 years, the state of California released SB 946. That state law regulates, or not regulates, but outlines what sidewalk vendors can and cannot do, and what jurisdictions overseeing this type of permitting process can and cannot do in respect to how sidewalk vendors operate. So this item before you is really to focus on the downtown area, and it creates parameters for sidewalk vendors in downtown in order to stimulate the local economy that has been impacted by the border shutdown. And it outlines what permit fee is going to be imposed, how long that permit fee is going to be imposed. It has a few items on how much separation and space has to be allowed by any type of business applying for the permit. And it also gives the city manager the ability that if there's sidewalk vendors that are not within the boundaries currently, it gives the city manager the ability to identify other sidewalk vendors and put them through the permitting system or the permitting process as well. So this proposed resolution will come back before council in some way, shape, or form in the future as the state laws and regulations are consistently changing, so are the needs of the city in respect to what they impose on jurisdictions to regulate or not regulate. This permitting regulation and process and fee, per SB 946, a jurisdiction cannot place limitations where sidewalk vendor sales can take place, but this resolution creates parameters for the boundaries that are named here. Any type of sidewalk vendor outside of the parameters, they'll have a different type of operating and entitlement process, may have you. For example, if you have a residential site or someone proposed to do sidewalk vending in a residential neighborhood, the sidewalks there are much smaller than the sidewalks compared to our downtown district. So what happens then? We have to go do an analysis and see, okay, what kind of parameters for health and safety can we create so if a business does want to conduct sales in a residential sidewalk, that we can make sure that anyone in that area, either pedestrians or customers or the business, are safe. So this one really focuses on our downtown area, and that's why I say it'll be brought back in some way, shape, or form to address other areas of the city. So every area is going to have its own unique requirements and permitting process. But as I mentioned, per SB 946, we can't not allow sales on other sidewalks in different zones, but we do have to create standards for the different types of sidewalks that our city has, and for different types of sidewalk vendors that we may encounter wanting to conduct business within our city. I will stand for any questions. This proposed permit will have the duration of a year for $50, and it will entail the applicant to submit a site plan of where they plan to operate within our downtown area. They will be required to have a city business license and obtain the sidewalk vendor permit, and they will be subject to an inspection that myself or the chief building official will conduct, and to make sure that they're meeting the requirements and they have enough room for pedestrian traffic and so forth. So if there are any questions, I will stand for any questions.
I have
Thank you.
questions.
Yes.
Well, first I want to thank you. I think this is a very good idea for our businesses downtown. The only concern that I have, that I want to make sure that chief and fire chief, he's not here, and your staff, that all safety measures are being taken and everything's going to be followed as it's stated, because we don't want to get into problems afterwards that, there's going to be a lot of issues, and that's when, and another thing is to make sure that the businesses are kept clean. You have something to say, chief?
Hold on. Just let me add on that. I did have a conversation with our police chief on this item. One, because my understanding and like the director presented right now, the code enforcement team has been working hand in hand with the police department, which is something that I take pride in. There is good communication. As soon as we receive a notice, we always involve all of us. So this is no different. It's no different. Actually, I do want to say that the police chief has taken it a step further, in which he would want to see other items pertaining to the downtown area that, like the director mentioned, we will be bringing back to you. At this point right now, we felt the urge, we felt the need, given what's going to transpire in a matter of days, in which we supported our businesses so they could feel, one, that the city council, the city staff is behind them, but also that there are other members of the community that are supporting this. And I appreciate Mr. Gronich, I appreciate Ms. Luna, I appreciate the other representatives that are here in the audience representing the business community that stand behind it. This is not going to be the last of this. This is just the first step.
Good.
The others will follow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's very positive. Thank you so much.
Okay. I have a question. Lisa, what is the reason for your sentences speak? Is only focus in downtown. For what?
So the reasoning behind us putting our focus on the downtown is because of the reopening of the border, and in efforts to support the downtown business community with hopefully high levels of foot traffic coming in from from Baja. They'll have the opportunity to showcase any type of merchandise that they have not been able to sell because we haven't had the same foot traffic or level of people crossing in years past. But it does have language in item 1. If you go to the number 1, it does have language where it gives the city manager the ability to identify other sidewalk vendors. And per that, if anyone comes in that is not within the boundaries right now that we were focused on, we have the ability to also permit them with this resolution. As I mentioned, we 100% will bring this back. It's how do you learn? Only by experience. And this will be the first resolution that is year-round compared to the ones that were passed prior to SB 946 and historically even before the passing of that Senate bill. So this is one step in multiple phases that are going to come before the council and more than likely eventually end up in some type of ordinance before the council to really formally adopt it and allow staff to do an analysis, because it's not very simple. We have to look at basically the whole city, all the zones. What do our sidewalks look like in the cannabis area? What do our sidewalks look by Denny's? What do they look like in the residential zones, the commercial zones, and not only the downtown commercial specialty district, but all of them.
Yeah.
And then it allows us the ability with time and phasing to tailor something, not only that the council envisions meeting the goals that you have for the city, but that also allows staff to engage along with council, the public, business, and resident community to see what they also envision given SB 946 and the steps that are transpiring to create something that serves the public's interest as well as the business community.
But this resolution, Miguel, is all Calexico?
So if you want to look at it from a point of view like it was mentioned right now, item number 1 under the resolution gives me the authority as a city manager to identify other businesses that may not reside within the identified boundaries, meaning if we have other businesses wanting to take advantage of this opportunity that you folks are considering,
they can let us know, and this does not prevent them from doing so.
Okay. Very specific. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Um,
you.
Thank you, and I was gonna ask the same question as Ms. Romo, because, yes, you know, I understand that there's a huge need to support our local business community, and I say local. I mean, downtown, it's one area that it's in dire need of this type of assistance, right? But so is the rest of our businesses, right? So, and if they fall within that, I guess, category of being able to hold these sales too, in the way that we're stipulating on this item, I think they should have that ability to do that. And again, you know, people are not gonna stop just in downtown. They're gonna go to Walmart. So if on their way to Walmart, they go by Cardenas Market, you know, that shopping area. I mean, I think there's some businesses right there that probably they can accommodate those sales too. And I think I want to incentivize all of them, all the businesses, right? Because hopefully we keep as many customers or shoppers as possible here. I think that's the whole idea. And then also, let me go back to our meeting from last Wednesday. I think we had a great item on revisiting the fees. How are this fee compared to the previous fees that were charged when vendors were holding or used to hold sidewalk sales? Do you have that number by any chance?
Yes, so in this fee right here, the $50 was for the last resolution that was in 2012, approved by the city council, was also $50.
Okay.
We didn't change it because what happens? Inflation, right? So we're totally different times right now. The CPI has grown astronomically, but I mean the inflation rate. But I did not offer to change it or even think about changing it. I kept it the same because if we charged $50 in 2012, I wanted to make sure that now, even with COVID, we kept it at the same level. And if it's council's direction to want to reduce it, I mean, you have the ability to and give direction, and we can do that. But I wanted to keep it consistent with what was charged previously. And in fact, prior, the $50 reflected only the holiday season. So that was only a couple months. And not only that, but a couple identified days within the month. They were allowed to do during holiday season. It was like Fridays, Saturdays, and then certain other days, Black Fridays, whatever that day fell on. So it wasn't even like 3 months. It was days within the holiday season, on the weekends, on Fridays. So this one is $50 for the whole year. So that's completely different, and I would say more reflective of wanting to incentivize businesses to come out and get permitted. Because what do we want? We want them to comply so we can make sure everybody's safe and enjoying the sidewalk vendors, because that's fun. You know, you walk into our downtown and you see, oh, I want to go buy this or that, and it helps our community. It's totally different. And so when staff was formulating this, we didn't see the need to change it, just keep it the same. And the only thing that changed was actually the duration of the permit.
Okay, and that was the reason why I asked you, because, again, going back to the previous meeting, I like to have a reason or a process how we arrive to that fee, and it's not just something that, there's not thought process. But I'm glad that we're still keeping that fee at that level. From my perspective, I think it's great, as long as, at least we're able to break even with whatever we're gonna put to make this happen as far as city resources. And I think it's very competitive. 8, 9 years after, keeping the same fee, I think is great. So thank you for that. Also, I know that, you have been mentioning that this will come back in a form of a resolution for the future. And I would like to see that future is very soon, right? And it's not just for, the reopening of the border. I want to see something that we can plan maybe in closing, First Street, certain sections. Maybe have just certain days, where we talk to the business community and see when is the day that probably is the most, the day that, we have the most visitors coming to our city. Maybe have something like that. I know that it will take more planning, but I think it will be a great opportunity also to just concentrate on that.
for downtown and as much as we can expand, because this is the one shot that we have to, make it work. That's on that also. But another thing that I wanted to, based on SB 946, right, and that we are using that as a reference to this ordinance, or this resolution, we know that our community is very creative when it comes to starting a business or making a business out of this. What about, the mobile sidewalk vendors? Have we thought about those? How we're going to make this accessible to them? What do we have in that?
So, Mayor Pro Tem, you bring up two good points that will allow us to update the council and the community here as to what we're doing on those items. One, I do want to say that I do want to reference this item as a step in which Calexico took the initiative to become a city that stretches the hand to the business community and that we can build from it, right? I think all of us in this room can just reminisce on the past, but it's not going to get us to what these individuals here want to see. What I think we have right now in front of us is a different way as to how we can engage and communicate with businesses. Because if Mr. Gronich right now mentioned 5 other businesses that stand by him on this item, I'll bet you that if we continue along this trend, those individuals will eventually be in this room as well. And that's what we want. We want them to engage, we want them to participate. One thing that I can share with you is that through our city attorney firm, BBK, and my staff for the past 6 weeks, we've been drafting and creating a mobile vending ordinance in draft form that will eventually make its way up to you folks. And the reason why that an ordinance, not a resolution, is taking a little longer is because of some of the things that we're talking about right now. We want to make sure that if we begin to beef up our ordinances to really be business friendly, that we really do our due diligence and consider all the things that have to be factored in, right? Like right now when the director was mentioning this opportunity in a residential zone, right? There are just different parameters, as we know, based on the building code, those things that we just need to, doesn't mean that it can't be done, we just need to account for it. So I think that you guys are going to be seeing exactly what you're envisioning, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, and it's coming down. Right now, we just felt that this item was urgent. Yes. Urgent because of all the elements going on in our economy, in our binational community. But it does set the precedent where you can reiterate, like you're doing, some of the things that you guys want to see, like Ms. Romo mentioned too, what Ms. Arreola Fernandez mentioned. And I do want you guys to be rest assured that all those things are being included in the bigger picture, the bigger ordinance that we're working on.
Okay. So, yeah, I do want to see it in the sooner the better, because I think this is a very crucial time. And it's something that, we have to take advantage. I'm glad to see some of our local businesses, or people from our business community and even the public, because they know that this is important. They know that this is, the one opportunity for them to recoup from all this time, and we want to support them. And the sooner that we do this, and I think we have to go back and revisit a lot of the things that are in the books right now that I think are way beyond their time of efficiency, and that is including something that I have been sharing with you, Miguel, the way and the ability for our businesses to promote their businesses, because as we start reopening and start welcoming our neighbors from the south or anywhere, we want to make sure that they know who's open. We even ourselves, and if there is no signage, if there is no announcement, I know the chamber is coming back, they're working on that, and I'm pretty sure that that's something that they will look into, maybe, updating some sort of directory, some sort of, outreach to, tell, who's open, who's still here, who's not here maybe, how can we help the ones that need the help now, which that's what we're doing. So, but this is a step in the right direction, and hopefully we can have, whether it's an ordinance, resolution, whatever that might be, as soon as possible, so we can, take care of this much needed services and assistance that we need to provide to our local businesses.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good presentation, by the way. I think as a council, we have, one of the main jobs that we have at City Council up here is create policy that enhances those and weighs in on issues like this. Correct, because sometimes when we have issues like this, it's not a right answer, right? And so I think policy really weighs into the values of the public that want, okay, from us. It also allows us to correct those things, right, that haven't been fixed for a while. And it makes policy, and it's there, enacted, and there for future. So we only have to be asking those questions, because like you said, right, you're an advocate for that, and you want that. So you want to have, in the future, you want to have these things corrected. So whoever comes over after us, it's already a policy that's already taken care of. And I think this is where we start, making that policy, working with the city manager's office and obviously the attorney here. So, of course, I'm all for that. The only thing I have, one question for you, Ms. Linda, is that I understand there's going to be a sidewalk sale, but what percentage of that actually is it going to interfere with the flow? Because some of the spaces are limited, I think, right? Even sidewalks, some areas are limited. So, what percentage of that this sidewalk sale, in terms of merchandise, is going to take over?
Thank you, Mayor, for that question. The biggest emphasis here when we're doing sidewalk sales is safety. So we need at least 5 feet of unobstructed pedestrian egress. So that's why it's very important when they come and they fill out their permit and they apply, they're going to include a site plan. There's hours of operation here. And they're going to run by those hours of operation from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. And we are going to go conduct an inspection where they'll show us where they're going to place it, not only on the sidewalk, but we're going to go out there, we'll measure with either myself or the chief building official. We will extend it. Fire does conduct the inspections when any business is doing something out of the ordinary in regards to operations, and the police department. So our biggest thing here is safety. We do require 5 feet of unobstructed pedestrian egress regardless of the area. So that's what we're going to focus on. We do have language in the report regarding that matter. So we just need 5 feet. And it's contingent upon an inspection and approval. And they will be subject to code enforcement and operating standards. So it's not, we just go give the permit, but we actively enforce it and make sure that the safety of the pedestrians is first and foremost what we're looking for.
Mr. Figueroa, I guess a question for
Yes.
you. Is this resolution has an expiration date, or is it holiday season, or is it 6 months, forever? Or?
No, this resolution, like with every other policy document, is a living document. At this point right now, this document will stand until the day it gets revisited and revised if needed.
Okay, thank you.
That's great.
That's all I have.
At this point, I would like to call up Ms. Katie Luna. I know she has a comment to share with us.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor Moreno, council members.
Good afternoon.
And city staff. I'm Kate Luna, the Chamber of Commerce for Greater Calexico. I will share with you that I was very excited to see this resolution because since about June of 2020, we have been sitting on the edge of our seat saying, when are we going to have our bounce back? When are we going to have our bounce back? And this is it. This is an exciting time for our business community. I want to take the moment to thank you and commend the city staff for bringing this in front of you. I had some of the same concerns and questions regarding SB 946 with the boundaries and limitations, but hearing it explained by the city staff, it makes total sense in the approach, considering the constraints of timing with what's coming up, what's going on. I really appreciate the thought that was put into how to achieve satisfying SB 946 with a very methodical approach that protects the city, but also is an opportunity for the business community. So thank you for that. And, you know, I just want to say that in SB 946, it does state that sidewalk vending provides important entrepreneurship and economic development opportunities to low-income and immigrant communities. And it couldn't be more true for our community. In fact, in the past 10 years, working with vendors of this nature that go out to events or have been vending attached to a business but on the sidewalk, so to say, this is a means for them to send their kids to college and to pay for their mortgages and to put food on the table. And let me just say that this is not a small deal for someone who is depending on those funds to sustain their family. I've seen a lot of great success on sidewalk sale vendors. Most recently, since SB 946 came out, this has been a great opportunity for some vendors, and particularly in the north end, to grow and expand and provide job opportunities for younger kids who are looking to get out into the working world. So I encourage you to adopt and commend the city again for taking this very proactive and progressive approach for what's going on and the excitement around the reopening of the border. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Luna. Anybody else? No?
Good.
So, no more comments? So we go ahead and vote on it. Please make a motion. Everybody make a motion?
I make a motion to approve resolution of the City Council for the City of Calexico adopting regulations regarding sidewalk vendors and adopting a fee for applications for sidewalk vending permits.
Thank you.
Second.
Anybody second that?
Second.
Mayor, I'll take a roll call vote since
Okay.
Councilmember Ureña is
Yes.
on teleconference. Mayor Moreno,
Yes.
Mayor Potem Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Fernandez,
Yes.
Councilmember Romo,
Yes.
Councilmember Ureña. Thank you, sir. 5.
Thank you. Okay, motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Moving up to item 2, approve of travel by Mayor Javier Moreno to the City of Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico, to meet with Mayor Norma Bustamante.
Mayor Moreno, I would request that this council consider this item at a future city council meeting. As we were informed that the meeting that was originally scheduled, unfortunately, will have to be happening at a different date and time. So I would be more than happy to bring this item before this council once we're able to establish that date and time.
Okay, thank you. So you want us to vote on it, or?
No.
No, that's it. Okay. Well, it is 12:40, and this meeting is adjourned.
Second.